TJ Kalen here with Kalen's Crafting Studio. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk about Cricut Infusible Ink transfer sheets and how to apply them. So if this interests you, stay tuned because here we go. Let's talk about what you need for this project. So you need a lint roller, and I'll explain that in a bit. You need a box of your transfer sheets, your Infusible Ink transfer sheets, and they come in either 4 packs or 2 packs, and I have a variety of both. We're going to use the steel plate sample pack today, and I'm going to use the red and the actual steel plate out of it. And it comes packaged, it's rolled up in this little black plastic tube. And you want to make sure anything that you use after the fact that you put back in there, and there's a little moisture pack. You don't want any moisture in this project. You want to make sure your hands are dry, everything's dry around you. If this gets wet, it will ruin it. This is an ink on here. It's an ink that when heat is applied to it, it's going to transfer and come off of it. So you imagine if your fingers were wet and you rubbed it, the ink probably comes off. I'm not going to test that because I'm pretty sure that that's the case. And then it comes with 4 pieces of butcher paper. Butcher paper is very similar to parchment, except for parchment has a non-stick coating on it. So I don't know if you can use parchment paper, but they usually give you plenty in the box for all of the projects, so you shouldn't need any more than what comes in there. And that's pretty much it. You want a standard grip mat, or a nice good sticky mat, and a piece of white, at least 80-pound cardstock. And that you're going to put in between the front part of the shirt and the back part of the shirt, just to make sure none of the ink bleeds through. Now, the shirts. So Cricut offers a bunch of different blanks. I did not buy Cricut's blanks. I found my own on the web, specifically jiffyshirts.com. I like that website. I use it I do merchandise. I do shirts for some local bands, and that's where I source my shirts. They're fairly inexpensive, and they're very good quality, and there's an array of different styles on there. So the important thing about infusible ink is that you need to use synthetic fibers, mainly polyester, and the higher the polyester, the more vibrant and the better result you're going to get. So Cricut's blanks, I believe, are 95% polyester. This shirt here was 95% polyester, and it's kind of a heathered gray. It looks white, but it's got little gray specks in it, and it worked really well. And it really does become part of it. You can't feel anything on there. It's wild. So the shirt that we're gonna do today is 100% polyester, so I'm anxious to see how this turns out. And it kind of looks like one of the Cricut shirts, but it's not. I assure you, I did not get it from Cricut. And they have other things. They have totes and onesies and stuff, so certainly check that out too. I just like to see what other options I have there. So one of the important things to remember when you're working with this, that it is an iron-on material. Anything iron-on, you always want to put it on your mat upside down, and then you want to mirror it. And when I say upside down for this, you would think that this would be the top, but it's actually not. It's the back, because that's the part that's going to go down onto your shirt. So the top part of it is actually the liner that says Infusible Ink and Cricut on the back, that's sort of a shiny. Put the shiny side down and the actual artwork side up. And you want to make sure in Design Space that you make sure when you send it to your mat, you mirror the project so it cuts out backwards. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I already have the design set up, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and then I'll show you how it weeds. You don't really need a weeding tool, maybe in a couple small places, but for the most part, you can just bend it and the pieces come apart. So we're going to do that shortly. And if you need to know how to set things up in Design Space, I would suggest searching some other videos on how to design designs in Design Space. Design, design, design. Said that 3 times, but anyway. So I'm gonna cut the project and we'll be back in just a second. Okay, I decided to show you this very quickly in Design Space. I like to use the templates. It helps me a lot from a sizing perspective, and I am using a V-neck t-shirt, so this is perfect. So I already have it all set up and ready to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and click Make It. And here is where you want to make sure that you mirror your image by clicking on the mirror button, and you have to do it individually for each mat. And then I like to click back on the top mat so I know where I'm starting when it goes to the next screen. And then I hit continue and wait for it to connect to my machine. I'm running a little bit slow tonight. And I'm gonna click on popular. And then here is Infusible Ink transfer sheet, or you can browse materials and find it there, but it's in the popular section. So I'm going to click on that, and I like to use fast mode if it's not a super intricate cut, which I don't believe that this is. I'm pulled off the mat already. So now I'm going to just go ahead and trim the design. It's very easy to see on these where to cut. Stiff, it cuts like paper, really. It cuts like cardstock. And then this one, when you take it off the mat, you should always really take it off from the back and lift it up this way and use your hand to hold your piece down. And this just helps prevent it from curling. Okay. So we have this, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim this design. Okay, put my extras down here for now. Now we're gonna weed it. So let's see how this goes. This is a pretty intricate cut, so I'm gonna try to peel off. There you go. I had to rip a little bit just to get it started there, which is fine. And you can kind of just roll it and crack it, and it weeds off pretty good. We're gonna have to see how this is gonna work for the little pieces in the center. I'm probably gonna have to use a weeding tool, but let's see. I just want to make sure I don't weed the wrong thing in here because I have a lot of different little pieces. So this is a saying from a Hailstorm song, and it says, headbanging in the pit and throwing my horns. So it's a quote by Hailstorm, which is a song that I really, really like. We'll see how that looks. I think I'm missing a little piece there. Yeah, I knew that this was going to be a little difficult to weed, but all right, let's see. Now I have to get all these little letters out. Then you want, if you're using more than one layer, you're gonna have to cut it so we don't have to do this twice, and you can apply it. So you can see now it's in the correct direction. Okay, before you do the iron-on portion of it, you want to make sure you take a lint roller, a clean piece of tape, one of these tape rollers, and make sure you get everything off of it and go over your surface really well where you're going to apply the infusible ink. Because any tiny little fiber will cause issues and won't let the ink sink into the material properly. So you definitely want to make sure that you clean off the fabric real well. And you think that you didn't get anything, but there's always a couple little hairs on there, especially in my house with the cats. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this on my clamshell heat press. I prefer to use this whenever I can for shirts, although you can do it on your Easy Press too. And the Easy Press 1, the first one that came out, but you want to make sure it's something that heats up to at least 400 degrees. So I already preheated my heat press and I preheated my shirt. I have it placed on here. You want to preheat that for 15 seconds. I've also placed a piece of white cardstock underneath just in case any of the ink bleeds through. So my design was pretty intricate, so there was little tiny lettering in here, and we'll see how it turns out. I would suggest the first time you're doing it, you want to definitely make sure you're not doing a super intricate design, because you know, getting the little centers out and making sure what stays it's supposed to stay stays and what comes out. So it took me a minute to get it really weeded, but I think I'm good. So this is where we weeded from the back because we had it reversed. Now you're going to flip it over and place it down on your shirt. So I'm kind of just eyeballing it. I feel like the A is sort of the center there. Just gonna set it down on there. Now we're gonna take our piece of butcher paper and place that over the top. Technically my butcher paper is supposed to be bigger than the surface of the heated area, but it's not because my heat press is too big. So, and now we're gonna place it for 40 seconds. Okay, that's 40 seconds. I'm gonna pull it up and take this off. And this is a hot peel, or a warm peel, I should say. And when you peel it up, sometimes the pieces will stay on there, but you wanna just kind of pull it up with it and be careful because it's super hot. Wow, pretty cool, pretty cool. Look at that ink going right into there. And there we go. So this is what you have left. So you can see that this piece stays here, but all the ink transferred off of this little cardstock. That's what it feels like. It feels like a type of cardstock that's on there. And then this is all garbage, and that's the design. So we'll pull it off, pull out my cardstock, and there you have it. And you can see, whoops, still a little warm. You can see how much more vibrant the color turned out than it originally was. I don't know, is it kind of hard to see on camera how that turned out? Pretty cool. Head banging in the pit and throwing my horns by Hailstorm. So I'm pretty pleased with the way this turned out. Super cute little t-shirt. And that's how you use infusible ink. So one thing to mention, if you were layering, again, you want to make sure you cut your liner as close as you can, and you can actually fit it all together like I did, so you don't have to do it in 2 steps. And that worked really well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up and click on the bell notification so anytime I post new content, you get notified. Thanks for watching. See you next time.